When it comes down to coloring a Pokemon wrong, Pokemon with moves that they shouldn't even know, calling the Pokemon its wrong name,
Arcanine! Flamethrower! Arcanine! Arcanine!
not knowing the type of what the Pokemon is,
Furret, let's go!
Furret!
Whoa, look at that Furret! I figured a ground Pokemon would be stronger against an electric type.
Ground Pokemon.
and even coming down to amazingly huge mistakes like Ash having 2 Pikachus right next to him, and even a Who's That Pokemon mistake saying that Arbok evolves into Seviper. These mistakes are just completely stupid, but we're not going to be talking about mistakes, we're going to be talking about battles. Specifically battles that we have seen in the Pokemon anime that are just completely dumb, and that shouldn't even happen. Keep in mind that there are many battles in the Pokemon anime, basically at least one battle per Pokemon episode, but I had to, of course, narrow it down, and these are like my top 5 worst battles I've ever seen. There probably may be more worse ones out there, maybe more in the future to come, but these are basically my top 5, and if you guys think these are wrong and you think they're even worse battles, let me know down in the comments below.
So, will it be Cadbury Caesar or Ash's Oshawott for the win?
So already, this battle seems already dumb enough already. So it's Oshawott versus Dewott. Dewott is the evolved form of Oshawott, so you already can tell that Dewott is at a huge advantage. The first dumb thing that I see in this battle is that Ash literally copies everything that this guy does. When this guy says Aqua Jet, Ash copies it and says you use Aqua Jet too, and he continues to do that in the continuation of this episode's battle.
Use Aqua Jet.
Wow! Let's counter them with the same move! Aqua Jet, let's go!
Use Hydro Pump.
Hydro Pump 2!
Razor Shell.
Oshawott! Razor Shell!
So while this guy's Dewott uses Aqua Jet, Ash's Oshawott uses Aqua Jet 2, while Oshawott being a pre-evolved form, it loses this one.
Wow! Let's counter them with the same move! Aqua Jet, let's go! Oshawott, no!
Dewott 1, Oshawott 0.
Use Hydro Pump.
Hydro Pump 2! Oshawott!
Again, Ash just literally copies what the other guy says and uses Hydro Pump, and like I said, Dewott being an evolved form, Oshawott loses again. Dewott 2, Oshawott 0.
Hang in there, Oshawott! Intercept with Aqua Jet! Alright!
Dewott then uses Surf, while Oshawott doesn't know Surf, so it intercepts with Aqua Jet. And even though that Surf is literally 2 times more the power than Aqua Jet, both of them are managed to be equal in power for some reason. So none of them are injured, they are both equally, they manage the same power. So still, Dewott 2, Oshawott 0. Dewott 3, Oshawott 0. It uses a double Razor Shell on Oshawott and it hits. Dewott 4, Oshawott 0. And it still doesn't faint for some reason. Every time we see in the Pokemon anime when Ash says let's finish this, every time his move hits, he always ends it. But of course not here.
Let's end this charade. Use an Aqua Jet and Razor Shell combination.
You use an Aqua Jet and Razor Shell combination too! Full power!
So then he commands his Dewott to do an Aqua Jet and Razor Shell combination. Oshawott really injured, and Ash not knowing what to do, he commands to do the exact same thing as well. So Oshawott using a Razor Shell and Aqua Jet combo, and Dewott using an Aqua Jet Razor Shell combo as well, and both of them collide, and apparently they're both equal powered and both get damaged. Dewott 5, Oshawott 1, I guess.
Great, Caesar! You won it!
Caesar is unable to battle. Oshawott wins!
And apparently, after Dewott getting hit just once, it faints. And Oshawott getting hit 5 times, it doesn't faint. What kind of sense does that make? Oshawott got hit literally 5 times by that Dewott and it didn't faint. While over here, Dewott got hit by literally just one move and it faints. What kind of sense does that make, people? This was literally one of the most dumbest battles I've ever seen, and I had to put it in my top 5. Going a little bit backer into the Black and White series, we're going back to an episode called Dazzling Little Mazda Gym. In this episode, Ash has to figure out a strategy to defeat Elsa, the 4th gym leader in the Unova region. She uses electric-type Pokemon, so Ash has to use a plan to figure out how to defeat her. When it comes time to battle, Ash says he has a plan, and he uses Palpitoad.
I'm all set, and my strategy is ready to roll. Palpitoad, I choose you!
Which is a water and ground type, which of course electric type moves have no effect on a ground type. So at the start of the battle he's doing pretty good until his Palpitoad faints. Alright, he's still got 2 Pokemon left. Let's see what else he's gonna pick.
Palpitoad is unable to battle. Emolga's the winner. You can't be serious. I was gonna win every battle with you.
Are you freaking joking me? You only had Palpitoad as your strategy. What kind of sense does that make? It doesn't mean she's only going to use electric type moves. She has a huge strategy just in case people bring ground type attacks. That's why they're a gym leader. And this is where things get even more dumber. He actually runs out of the stage to go get 2 more of his Pokemon.
You'll have to bring out your next Pokemon right now, or I'll have to disqualify you.
Give me a few minutes, Elisa.
Are you kidding me? I mean, he literally thought Palpitoad was the only Pokemon he's gonna need. He didn't even bother to bring his other 2 Pokemon just in case. What kind of sense does that make? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and this is one of the most dumbest battles I've ever seen in the Pokemon anime. But even after that, spoiler alert, Ash ends up winning. Number 3. Now, when it comes down to finding something some people really strong like the Elite Four or even the Champion, when we know what type of Pokemon they're gonna pick next, we at least know what Pokemon we're gonna use next. In this episode, in this battle, is one of the most dumbest person who I've ever seen who use these Pokemon in my entire life. In the Unova League, Ash has a friend called Cameron, and in this episode, which is called Cameron's Secret Weapon, we have a standoff between Cameron and Ash. Since they're both friends, this battle is going to be kind of tough. This trainer, Cameron, is dumb. By that I mean he doesn't know much. He didn't know when the Unova League started, he didn't know where to go, he didn't even know you had to register too. Ash had to help him all along the way. So you think, how did this person even end up going into one of the finals of the Unova League? Here's why. In one of the episodes, he had a secret weapon. That's why this episode called his secret weapon. And it turns out he actually had a Hydreigon, one of the strongest dragon type Pokemon in the Unova region. And he used this against Ash, and he demolished a lot of Ash's Pokemon until it actually ended up fading after, I believe, the 3rd or 4th Pokemon that Ash took out. Ash's Pignite was actually finally able to defeat Cameron's Hydreigon. So, now it's Cameron's turn to pick out his next Pokemon. And Ash using a Fire type, which Pokemon do you think he's gonna pick? That's pretty obvious. Probably something like a Ground type or a Water type. After hardly thinking and even pulling his wristband and pulling it to his head, he actually throws out his next Pokemon.
Got it! Okay, Ferrothorn, you're up next! Ferrothorn!
Are you freaking kidding me? How stupid can you be? He has a Fire type, so you decide to pull out a Steel and Grass type. Are you freaking kidding me? This is one of the most stupidest things you can ever see in your entire life in Pokemon. A Steel and Grass type, if it gets hit by a Fire type, it doesn't get double the damage, it gets 4 times the damage of that Fire type. So it basically means if it gets hit by one Fire type attack, no matter who it's from or what it is, it's going to faint, because it gets 4 times the damage. This is understandable if it was the other way around. If Cameron threw out Frost Seed and then Ash had his Pignite, it would make more sense. But no, Cameron was the one who picked out his next Pokemon against Ash's Pignite, and he threw a Steel and Grass type. How dumb can you be, man? After his Samurott loses to a Pikachu, it's time for Cameron to pick out his next Pokemon against Pikachu. So which Pokemon do you think he's gonna pick next? A Ground type would be nice. And guess what he throws out next?
Swanna, you're up next!
Cameron, is something really wrong with you? Why would you throw out a Water and Flying type Pokemon? That takes not double, but 4 times the damage of an electric type move. Good job, Cameron. How did this guy manage to go up in the Pokemon League in the Unova region? I don't know, guys. Going way back into the Hoenn region, we have a battle between Ash and Tate and Liz, one of the gym leaders in the Hoenn region. Tate and Liz both have a Psychic and Rock type Pokemon, Lunatone and Solrock. And Ash, being the idiot, decides to put out Pikachu, an electric type, and Swellow, a flying type Pokemon. I mean, seriously, Ash, you have a Grovyle and a Corphish. You could have used those Pokemon instead on a rock type Pokemon.
Thunderbolt, now! Lunatone, use Light Screen to protect Solrock! Pikachu!
Apparently, Light Screen, that only deals half the damage, reflects back and hits the opponent's Pokemon.
That's it! Of course!
You look up at the sky and you say, that's it. What can you possibly think of to find a plan to win this gym battle by looking up in the sky and looking at the clouds?
Pikachu, use Thunder!
And apparently Pikachu uses Thunder on upwards on the sky. Where did Pikachu think Ash meant by using Thunder at? What in the world is this? How the heck does shooting thunder into the sky and shooting in your own body make you gold? Thunder as armor. How does that work? If literally a thunder shot from the sky and hit me, you're saying it'll be used on me as armor. This just made absolutely no sense. Even if thunder did give them the power, they're both rock type Pokemon. That should have took no effect on them. How the heck? I don't even know how this worked. This is just one of the most underrated battles I've ever seen. As if all of these battles are bad enough already, I have of course the #1 worst battle I've ever seen in the Pokemon anime. Ash's rival, Trip in the Unova region, picks up his first ever Pokemon, which ends up to be a Snivy. So, of course, when you first pick up your Pokemon from the professor, it always begins as a level 5 Pokemon. Ash decides to have a battle with Trip. So, a level 5 Snivy versus a level beyond level 5 Pikachu.
Snivy, use Leaf Tornado!
Trip's Pokemon, which is Snivy, uses Leaf Tornado, a move which it can't learn until at least level 16 uses it. And guess what, guys? It faints. How in the world does a level 5 Snivy, who just met with his trainer, beats a Pikachu who's seen as a trainer for a long time? Is that even possible? I mean, I know these other ones were pretty bad, but the reason why I know this one was the worst is because it's a level 5 Snivy. This just made absolutely no sense. All of these battles made absolutely no sense, and they had to be here in this list. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with this list? Do you think there are even more worse battles out there? Do you think these battles were actually okay? Let me know down in the comments below. This is basically it, guys. I am the World of Pokemon, guys. Peace out.